have a couple friends who work at one of my favorite restaurants here in town in Santa Barbara. It's called The Lark, and they brought by their knives that they carry to and from work for me to sharpen them. And when they brought them in the same container that they always carry them in, which is just a towel with a rubber band on it. So while they're here, I'm gonna surprise them and make some sheaths out of wood so that they can carry these safely in their bag, but also have something cool they can show off while they're working. So this is a great scrap wood project. I'm gonna use just some scraps I have laying around of walnut, zebra wood, wangi, and leopard wood or lace wood. And we're gonna kind of fly by the seat of our pants here. So let's get started. I'm gonna mill these up and cut them to the appropriate size. And then we're going to drill some locating holes for gluing up. And then I'll resaw it and route out the pattern of the knife. So let's head over to the table saw and get these milled up. Okay, one thing I forgot to do before I resawed these was drill some locating holes. And the reason I'm gonna do that is you can see I left plenty extra. We're not gonna use this material here, but I wanna be able to get the two sides to go together right. So I'm gonna drill 2 1/4-inch holes here, which will just allow me to take 2 1/4-inch bolts, put them through when I'm gluing up, and then I can clamp around it, but I'll know that the two pieces are still perfectly grain matched. And I haven't decided yet, but what I think I'm gonna do is only route out the knife for one side and keep this one flat. And then what that's gonna allow me to do is just route one time and not have to worry about how to translate this across. And these knives are so thin that it will be imperceivable to anybody looking at it, but it'll allow us to not have to worry about how to locate a knife back and forth. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill my holes, and then I'm gonna trace with a marker my knife. And that's gonna allow me some leeway. That, you know, a marker is probably an 1/8 inch thick. So I'm just gonna try and route to the marker, but I'm gonna purposely go a little bit over. And then let me show you the bit I'm gonna be using. So this is what's called a bull bit. I got it from bitsbits.com. There's a 15% off discount code down below. What's great about this, it's got a big flat bottom and then a very small round over. And that's gonna keep me from having a super sharp side and just add a little bit of a round over, which will ease the edges of the knife. So let's go ahead. We're going to trace this onto one side. I'm going to drill my holes first, of course. Then we're going to trace this onto one side and just freehand route it out and just going really slow. Okay, that just came out incredible, and it actually is just the perfect tightness. I had one little boo-boo where I slipped up here, but other than that, that was super easy. My router just tipped because I had already routed out the whole thing, and I was trying to clear one little piece, and I was balancing on this teeny little area. So next is glue up. We're gonna use our locating holes, but first, I wanna try this on the CNC really quick. I saw this great video by NYCNC. I'm gonna link that down below where you can import a JPEG. I just took a picture of these knives with a ruler in it, and then in Fusion, it's one click. You can scale the picture based on the ruler. You just identify 2 known dimensions and just like that, and it was super easy to trace. So if you want to check out that video, it's down below. Here's how I did it really quickly. I'll show you really fast. Trace it, extrude it, make a box around it, and then you just can cut out that shape on the CNC. So let's go over to the CNC and give it a try. All right, so I actually had a thought. Wonder if we could cut some dovetail sushi or something. Regardless, sorry, a little off topic there. So we're done. I've routed everything out. We did these are two of the CNC. These are the ones I did by hand. Hand was obviously way faster, not nearly as clean. And, you know, it took a little bit of setup time in the computer to model it and trace it, but, you know, it was like an extra 10 minutes, and the CNC is a lot cleaner. There's no sawdust, and, you know, I just sit there and hang out. We need to glue these up. We have two more things to do. One is we're gonna drill a hole like right here on every knife, and that's because I wanna make a leather tie for it, so that way the knife doesn't slip out in their backpacks. And we need to seal the insides of these. We don't want raw wood in there, because if they're putting knives in there dirty, then you run the risk of developing bacteria, and especially because they work in a restaurant, we don't want that. So I'm gonna use something to seal the inside, and then we're gonna drill that hole and glue everything up. Okay, when we drill our hole for the leather, we want to make sure that it can wrap around the knife. So we're going to do it above the knife. And then I'm actually going to bandsaw everything out, get it close, except I'm going to leave our locating holes, because that way we can still locate the piece and not worry about it not lining up. But one thing I'm a little worried about is when I close it up, if I leave it square, it's gonna be kind of hard to guess where the knife is, because I don't even know if this is right compared to where it actually cut. So I'm gonna cut out some waste now and glue them up and drill a little hole here for our leather strap. Man, those came out so good. So you saw I only drilled a hole in one side and bandsawed the one side before I glued it up, and that was on purpose. The reason is I wanted to be able to clean it up and still locate it with as much meat as possible. And then also I wanted a bigger hole so I could drill a smaller hole, and then I ended up using wax thread for leather working. Now this is probably more than the guys are gonna want, but I wanna give them the option. What's great about wax thread is when you wrap it tightly around itself, it sort of just sticks to itself, so you don't really need to tie it, and it looks really cool. We used light thread for the walnut and wangi because it's the darker woods, and I thought the light thread would look great. And then for the lighter woods, the zebra wood and the lace wood, I used dark thread. And they came out so cool. I thinned them out in the planer. Make sure that you check how long of a piece you can put in your planer, because these were pushing it for my planer, but you know what? No, we didn't have any problems, so it's not stupid if it works. Sorry about the food safe finish, but I released that Katz-Moses goo video and somebody emailed me saying I should take it down because I was gonna get sued. So I just didn't want to deal with what's food safe and what's not. You can do your own research and figure out what finish you want to use. Guys, thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is head over to the Katz-Moses store, get a stop block, a dovetail jig, or a t-shirt. Thanks for watching. Check out the Lark in Santa Barbara. They're not paying me or anything, but it's really a good restaurant. Stay safe in the shop. Have a wonderful day.